Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing the first part of a multiple part series of the restoration of this 1960s Zero model 1250R 8-inch desk fan. I got this fan for free recently, and it's, as you can see, in very bad condition. Somebody spray painted it blue, gold, red on the blades, all type of this nasty crap. So it does work. It squeals, as it needs a lot of oil and bearing work. And today I'm just going to begin with the disassembly of the fan, as I need to spray the parts with some degreaser so I can prepare them to get sandblasted. So I'll just be covering most of the disassembly process with this video. So I'm going to start by removing the fan head from the base here with this nut. I've got all my tools with me here. So there's the base. You can see it's been painted blue and gold, and they did a very bad job of it. So that's going to have to obviously be sandblasted. Screws will have to be cleaned and stripped of their paint. And then I've obviously got my whole toolbox here. One of my toolboxes. Next up, I'm going to start disassembling the cage and blade. I'm going to loosen these nuts. They're finger tight, as the fan rattled a lot due to a loose cage, so I can just easily pull off the cage here. Put the hardware over there. I'm going to have to loosen the bottom nut. Alright. A little more. There we go. Alright, so now we'll pull off the cage, if I can get it off. There we are. So there we have the cage. The badge will probably have to be replaced, or I could probably try my best. I'll sandblast it and then try my best at filling in those letters to match the paint job I'm going to go with. And the cage will obviously have to be sandblasted. There's the fan assembly. Next up, I'm going to have to remove that button here so I can remove a nut to loosen the blades. As you can see, it does not sound good. Bad bearings in there. So we'll get on with that. Got my screwdriver so I can pry the little tabs open. There we go. That hub is off. That'll have to be sandblasted, obviously. And then here's the nut I have to remove. The blades are severely out of balance. Those will have to be straightened out. But pull off that nut real quick. And sadly, the original aluminum color on these blades will not be able to be saved. It'll have to be repainted, because I'm going to have to sandblast all that paint off of it. It's a very thin aluminum, so they're very easy to bend. So now I have the motor assembly here. I'm going to have to pull this whole thing apart, because I'll have to sandblast the housings and clean out the motor. So we'll get started by removing the back cover. Move that top screw there. Get the back cover off. And as you can see here, The original paint is still underneath, sort of a turquoise green or something like that, dark turquoise green. There's a lot of rust and nasty stuff in there. So this will have to be sandblasted, and I'm hoping to paint this probably a silver or chrome color. And the rest of the fan is mostly going to be black with some yellow pinstriping. And the blades will obviously be silver. And then here's the motor. Very dirty. This whole thing's going to have to be cleaned out. I'll loosen the nuts here. I'm going to have to hold the nut here, the shaft, so I can remove the blade nut. There we are. Turn this around so I can easily remove that screw. Alright, there's one stud, some washers. Can't lose those. Next up, I have to get the second one out. This one's going to be a fairly difficult one to get out. Might have to bend the oiler a little bit. There we are. There we go. Alright, so I'll pull this second stud out, and here we're going to have the oiler and the rear. One of the screws will bend the oiler back into place. Just pull it off real quick. I can bend that back. Alright, so now I'm going to start the disassembly of the motor. Here's the rear bearing. It's very dirty, and that fiber bushing, the oil retainer, is very dry, as you can tell. Most of these fans were made as disposable fans, so people didn't really take much care of them. They wouldn't oil them. So on a lot of these, the bearings are bad. On this one, they don't seem like they're worn out too bad, so I might be able to save them. There's that. Another washer. Next up, I'll pull out the rotor. Very minuscule rotor for this fan. I've always thought these rotors look kind of funny. So that'll have to be degreased. And now we have the stator. Might have to hammer it out a bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to hammer that out. Make sure I don't hit the windings. Alright. Almost out. There we go. That'll have to be fixed. It's almost out of there. These stamp steel housings really are difficult to get apart. Alright, there we are. So that's obviously going to need to get sandblasted. And then that's going to have to get cleaned out. The little paper holding the little middle wire connecting the poles, that'll have to be reinforced with something. But otherwise,